Yo, peep this. You just clicked on Let's View It, and I'm Tyrone Cross. Welcome to my channel, so you already know. Let's view it. 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 What's up, real ones? Welcome to Let's View It. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, well, the joke's on you. But before I start my wonderful video on my awesome channel, I want to let you guys know something. I would really appreciate it if afterwards, if you had a good time watching this crap, then please subscribe and help support me, help support this channel, and help me fight against YouTube and whatever games they're playing with me.
I'm too old for games.
But now let's get into this video. As some of you guys know, I like to tear up Neil Degrasse Tyson. I like to make him look stupid. Plus, it's really easy because his face is so damn punchable. But this time, I'm actually going to use some of his information to prove a point that I already knew and I try to tell others. And in this video, Chelsea Handler, some of you guys may know her, some of you guys don't. But if you're one of the cool people, you at least know she used to date 50 Cent. So Chelsea Handler asked Neil Degrasse Tyson if he believes in God. So you already know. Let's view it.
As a scientist, do you believe in God?
So in the West, there's 2/3 of scientists pray to a personal God on the expectation it will intervene in their day's affairs. But I can tell you this, productive scientists do not bring their Bible, their scripture, their holy books into the lab because they do not mix there. So they draw a line in the sand and they do one in one place, then they worship on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, whatever is your religious tradition there. So to ask whether they can coexist, the answer is is empirically yes.
I didn't ask that. I asked, do you believe in God?
Every description of God that I've heard holds God to be all-powerful, very typical, and all good. And then I look around and I see a tsunami that killed 250,000 people in Indonesia, an earthquake that killed 250,000 people in Haiti. And I see earthquakes and tornadoes and disease, childhood leukemia. And I see all of this and I say, I do not see evidence of both of those being true simultaneously. If there is a God, the God is either not all powerful or not all good. Can't be both.
Good answer. It's my question of the year.
So I'm. If you have good evidence, I'm good for it. But I'm evidence driven.
You need evidence.
More
You're a
than
scientist,
I'm faith driven.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know.
And by the way, to be faith driven is one thing, but to be faith driven and try to create legislation on that affects other people who don't share your faith,
right,
that's the beginnings of a theocracy. And we have evidence of what that is in the past. And our founding fathers specifically founded this country to prevent that from happening.
Now, that was the longest no I have ever heard. Obviously, he doesn't believe in God. Anyone who believes in God is not going to say, well, either your God is not all good or your God is not all powerful. He's presenting those comments as actual questions to God believers. Like, if you believe in God, then how can you believe this and that? But what I want to point out is, notice this, and this is a big deal. And this is what I've been trying to say for a very, very, very long time. They try to use science to prove our existence without a God. That's what that big mainstream science is for. When they start talking about galaxies and light years and the Big Bang and evolution and all that stuff that they cannot prove, it's all ideas of how we can be without God. And if you notice, he said, yeah, sure, you can be a scientist and believe in God, but when you do your science, you don't bring God into that. Or in other words, you as a scientist should never, ever think how God could be connected to this science, or how God could have influenced this science, or how God could have created this science. And if you're doing that, then you're not being a progressive scientist, because all the most progressive scientists that Neil Degrasse Tyson knows doesn't bring God into it. That's very interesting. So I would imagine that if you never bring God into your science, then you will never accidentally prove there is a God. That's basically what he's saying, that science should never be able to prove there is a God. Now, out of his own genius mouth, he said he's evidence-based driven. Most of what he believes, there is no evidence of. All these tests they say they do, we never see them do them. We never see them measure the speed of light. They just tell us they can. We never see them measure gravity. They just tell us they can. We never see them weigh a cloud, but they will tell us the average weight of a cloud. And don't even try to say that I'm a science denier. I know there's science. I know the sun helps plants grow. I know seasons change. I know when water gets too cold, it turns solid. And they use that science, the real science that we get to see every day, that we ourselves get to test every day. And they use that to build trust in science and scientists, to the point that when we don't get to test it and when we don't get to see it, we automatically assume they're telling us the truth. What do you think the best liars do? They don't tell really good lies. They gain your trust so you don't question the lie. Because questions lead to answers, and answers lead to truth. And that's what mainstream science done to us. We now trust them so much, they can just throw an article out and we're like, damn, they found 13 new Earths. Can you believe it? Now, when Neil deGrasse started taking shots at God believers, notice that he uses scripture. All atheists start attacking the Bible when they attack God. But as I said many times, I believe the Bible's manipulated. I believe the Bible has been changed by the devil. The devil is the king of this world. He gets to deceive everybody how he wants to. Anything of this world, the devil can touch and manipulate. Through people, of course, but anything made of this world can be touched by the devil. It's possible. The Bible is made of this world. Churches are made of this world. So that's why I believe atheists can go to scripture and use it against people who believe in God. Because there's things in there to use against people that believe in God, because the devil put them in there. But anyways, that's a whole nother deep conversation. Then Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on and starts saying everything wrong with this world, trying to prove that God couldn't be good. And all he does is name a bunch of man-made stuff. He started naming diseases, sicknesses, disorders. Even some of this terrible, terrible weather we have is our fault. And ironically, almost all of it is made through science. The food we eat, the medication we take, the vaccines we get. If you guys really don't think this is what causes our cancers and tumors and seizures and deformities and failures and weaknesses in our bodies, then I really don't know what to tell you. It literally tells you on every medication box a list of things it causes. And then when someone actually gets a tumor or gets cancer and dies, we accredit it to just being life. That's what happens in life. There's some unfortunate people. Well, maybe actually you took 100,000 Tylenols too many. It literally tells us this stuff. On our food, it literally tells us this stuff. But when it happens, it's not that stuff. And you know what? I'm just going to say it, and you guys can think I'm crazy if you want to. But they can control the weather. Have you ever looked up HAARP? HAARP. Google it. But anyways, all I wanted to show is that when it comes to mainstream science, they leave God out of it. And they do it intentionally because they're trying to prove how we have all of this with no God. They're trying to prove how did nothing end up making everything. And even if you want to say, well, you believe in a big fantasy guy in the clouds that doesn't exist, well, guess what? Nothing doesn't exist either. So that's the video of Neil deGrasse Tyson giving us the longest no to answer the question, do you believe in God? But now that you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson not only doesn't believe in God, but believes you should draw a line between God and science, all I need you guys to do is comment below. Tell me what you think. Do you think leaving God out of science is the best idea? Or do you think they do that because they're scared they just might stumble across God? Or do you happen to know why Neil Degrasse Tyson ignores human life as evidence of God? But while you're telling me your thoughts, I'm also going to need you to hit that bell like the hunchback. Also click that hit checker button and sub ride with me. And I'll see you on the next trip.
Day and night. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.